I'm Kevin Casey. I'm a professional mixed martial arts fighter. And right now what I'm about to do is issue a warning out to all other competitors.
I don't want overs. I just expect them to happen.
Fatty's gonna fatty is real.
Whoa, boy! He is terrible!
We gotta know how many wieners are going down these new stoves.
I want to go quick because I don't give a fuck about anything that's going to happen on Saturday.
The MMA Analysis. We are here with the Kentucky Sodsman, Wes Colvin, and the Canadian gentleman, New Sean. Wes, I'll start with you. It's been a heck of a sports week. You know, I'm gonna go off the grid here. Let's talk a little NASCAR. Give me your thoughts on the Roval. What did you think of that race? Do you want to see more Roval? Because I feel like I've been listening to some Sirius XM and listening to these NASCAR heads, and everybody wants to see Roval. What do you think?
Well, I mean, it was fun. I mean, you can't deny that. I think it turned into a little bit of follow the leader and stuff, but you know, it tends to happen the first time on a track like that.
But those last like 10 laps though.
Yeah, I mean, it was all kinds of fun. I mean, you can't do that stuff every week. This isn't a sports car series, you know, to where you race on road course. So I'm the biggest road course fan you'll ever meet. You can't do that every week.
Are you sure you're not an IndyCar fan though? That's like a road course central. We know some IndyCar fans.
I mean, I'd rather watch a car that I actually spin out instead of a matchbox that I couldn't spin out. You know what I'm saying? So, the more important thing that happened in NASCAR this week is them talking about going to this new package, which might.
Yeah, tell me about that.
I mean, I'm just. I get all the things they're trying to say, but the way it's looking, man, if you like watching IndyCar, you'll probably like NASCAR. I think next year it's going to be a bunch of cars with reduced horsepower, and you'll literally be mashed the gas to the floor, and it'd be pack racing. It's probably every 1.5 mile track's probably going to look like Talladega now, and I just ain't down for that. I've watched this sport since I was like 12 years old. I'm an old man, so that's 25 years or so. I don't know, man. It ain't sounding good to me, but I'll give him a chance. We'll see. I don't want to watch X-Fin racing every week. It's supposed to be the best guys with the best cars. If you can't control them, that's your problem. Then you're not the best. You know, if you can't go into a corner doing 180 and use your throttle and not spin it into the wall, then you're not a good stock car driver. That's kind of the whole point of the sport. You know what I'm saying? Reducing horsepower and letting guys not have to let up off the gas and just kind of try to slingshot around guys and shit. That's not racing to me. That's IndyCar racing, guys that just follow each other around. And yeah, we'll see though, man. I don't think it's going to be good at all. Especially what's crazy is you think this year's been pretty good, right? Like this has been a pretty good game.
I think the second half of the year was better than the first.
Oh
half.
Yeah. Oh well, I mean, the second half has been the shit. But I mean, the year in whole, it's been pretty good racing this year. It took them a few years. Like they went to the low downforce package a couple years ago. It took teams a couple years to start getting it down and get setups. People just want to look at when three guys run out and like win all these races and shit. People want to look for ways to get it. Like those are just the three best guys right now. It changes. I tell you every year, man. Like Ford got a new car. It usually takes a year for teams to figure out a brand new car. What happened at the end of the year when the second half of the year the playoffs started? Keselowski won 3 in a row in a Ford. Like where's Kyle Busch and them now? Kez is out there dominating them. This sport goes in swings and cycles, man. It's been like that since I've watched it. They need to let things play out a little more. I know you want newer fans and stuff, but when you start changing things around and like all the things they've changed in the past decade, the chase and the playoffs and how they do points and just all those changes, it turns people away like me that's watched it for so long. Sometimes change isn't good. You get what I'm saying?
Wes is a grumpy old man.
No,
things are changing and I don't like it.
But I mean,
I'm just fucking with you, Wes. I'm just fucking with you.
Sometimes it's too much, man.
Oh,
Hey,
I know.
I don't argue that. I am absolutely. I won't go as far as the whole Clint Eastwood, because I'm far from a racist, but I'm definitely that mean ass looking Eastwood saying, "Get the fuck off
my lawn." Speaking of niche sports that the minority of people are watching. Opening night in hockey tonight. My first bet of the year is losing 6-0 with 5 minutes left in the second. So it's
Excellent job,
it's a good fucking start to the year. I beat the closing line by a mile, so that's 1-0 in my books.
Well, that's I was going to ask you about.
I would be proud
about the Canadian pastime, but you stole my thunder and you stole your own thunder. Apparently,
it's a long season.
Now, I'm not. You know what? We would normally talk about the latest and what's going on in pay-per-views but I don't even want to talk about UFC 230. I feel like it's been talked about to death. We know it's stupid. Everyone knows it's stupid. Nobody wants to hear about it anymore.
Yep,
man.
Let's talk about Strikeator.
Yeah.
It sounds like something more fun. Now, I really hate the DAZN name, by the way.
Everyone
really
does,
do.
Jay. Everyone.
I thought it was just supposed to be DAZN. And I was okay with DAZN. I was like, oh, it's just like ESPN. It's like it's not a word. You just say the letters. And then they just came up with this DAZN thing. It sounds like some cheesy place where you would take like your 8-year-old kid for a birthday party.
Yeah, that's fair.
To get
That's totally
shitty
fair.
wings and
Yep.
shit.
Yeah,
I've been saying
really
Dazzin.
shitty pizza in a ball pit. Yeah.
I've been saying Dazzin for like 3
Yep,
months.
that's what most people say. And
And all of a sudden it became DAZN, and we're like, oh, fuck, this is terrible.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I didn't watch it because I'm not subscribing to DAZN, at least not yet.
Reddit MMA streams.
Jay's not trying to get viruses on his new computer.
Yeah, exactly. We're on a new comp here. Don't even have our grades lined up yet, which is pretty cool. We'll bring them back for the next card. We'll go no grades on this card. How about that? Some will be happy, some will be sad. I'm looking at the events. I want to see next week's event just on principle. Oh, we got Mitrione and Bader next week. This is the one at Mohegan Sun. Maybe I should do a little drive up.
I told you that was last week. I thought you were going to a wedding next weekend.
I do have a wedding next weekend. Yeah. I have a wedding on the 13th. Oh, man. Oh, you got those Benson Hendersons fighting. Oh. To hear Awesome God one more time live, almost like a thing. That's a thing.
Ugh.
For like the least religious guy around. I don't know. The song always gets me. I got to be honest with you.
All right.
I think it's a top 5 walkout song in MMA. I mean, that's him.
It's you feeling the Lord, Jay. It's you feeling the Lord, son.
Kyle Larson.
Uh,
All right.
It was a good card. It was a good
thought
card.
so, huh?
I mean, I don't know how many people watched it, but it was a good.
How many fucking fights do they have to have on a card, though? They literally scheduled 16 fights.
It's Bellator. They're putting like 1-1 fighters versus 2-0 fighters. Like it's complete. It's a straight up regional card for 80% of it, and then you have the normal high end card. It's fucking weird, but.
And by the way, I thought Fedor only fought in San Jose. Like I assumed he was going to be on this card, but he wasn't. They have him on a card at the friggin' mausoleum.
The Nassau Coliseum.
You mean the mausoleum? Yeah, it's brutal. At least that one's going to be on TV on Paramount, but apparently it does. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, we won't talk about the preliminary card. It doesn't seem like it's necessary.
To even talk about the two fucking fights on the main card. Let's just do the top.
Is Gilbert Melendez's girl better than him? Do we know that? Yes,
not a chance.
No. Okay. Good.
Oh no, she was in some trouble on that fight.
Yeah.
Like a motherfucker.
Yeah, it was a split decision, I say.
To a 0-0 fighter. Like.
So, tell me, Pico and Leandro Higo. We had a half bet on Leandro Higo. Was he dead from the start, Wes?
No, I mean. Yeah, I mean, probably, but he didn't, look horrible or nothing. I mean, it was, he was in there, but.
He landed some shots.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing. Pico's chin is decent. I mean, we saw that. I mean, the kid might be the real man. Like, seriously, he's. I think this guy's as good as he wants to be, man. I said it after the fight. He can be the best in the world if he wants to be, and the way he acts and talks, trains. I think he wants to be. So, man, watch the fuck out. I think that kid is the real. I hope eventually. I mean, I hate to say move to the UFC because I just think that's kind of shit nowadays. But at his weight class, all the best fighters are over there, man. So, man, hopefully we eventually get to see him against the best in the world, whether that be in the UFC, Bellator, one. I really don't give a fuck. Just I want to see him fight the best in the world because I think he can be one of the best in the world.
He was pretty damn good for a guy that was fighting his fifth fight of his career, or fourth or fifth, I forget.
Him getting a loss was
probably the best thing that ever happened to him. He doesn't have to carry that undefeated thing around with him at all times. He got sort of embarrassed right off the bat, and he knew he couldn't just roll through and just do whatever he wants.
Let me ask this question. So Aaron Pico's fought a bunch of times now in Bellator on main cards, yet Greg Hardy fought a bunch of times now, can't get a full UFC contract. Just saying.
I don't know what is going on there.
Aaron
how many guys does he have to beat up to get a
those poor regional bastards. At least put him against some UFC fighters that are getting a little bit of cash. He killed a guy on the weekend. Didn't you hear about that, Jay?
Yeah, he fought.
He was on UFC Fight Pass on Saturday night.
Oh yeah, it's some bullshit card.
Dude, he fucking just absolutely hammer fisted this dude to death.
How fast was this fight? Was it less than
a minute? Was it?
Yeah, like 90 seconds, dude. Guy tried to shoot in on him, and fucking he just unloaded, dude. And did that fucking look, man? Like, yeah, that guy's fucking scary.
Dumb Dana keeps saying, "I want to see you defend a takedown." Like, he fucking keeps murdering people.
He's trying to get these regional shitty heavyweights killed. Like the heavyweights in the UFC are shitty enough on the low end, and you're letting him murder these randoms.
Somebody's telling the UFC that he can't come up yet. I don't know who it is. Somebody in upper management ownership. Somebody is absolutely telling them that they can't have him come over yet, because if you don't think Dana White wouldn't already put that motherfucker in a co-main event or main event,
he should be too.
I wonder if they're just waiting for the ESPN deal or something, because he kind of got that crossover. I don't know what it is. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. ESPN football.
Somebody's keeping him away. Does he still have like some legal shit going on or something? Because
I don't think
somebody's keeping him away.
Yeah,
for one reason or another. But that guy's fucking just scary. Dude.
Yep,
he's scary.
Wes, this is like Tyson '87. Basically, he's just going out there and murking dudes like best hits.
Yeah, except these poor bastards are getting like $400 to fight him instead of guys that were fighting Tyson got a good chunk of change to die.
It's the same concept. He's just going out there beating dudes in minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not close. It is
like literally right now. I think we did it a couple weeks ago or a month ago when he fought. I mean, he's straight up fucking at least top 10 right now. I mean,
I would say so.
There's not 10 other guys, maybe 10 other guys that you would pick right now against fucking Greg Hardy. I mean, you don't just Pro Bowl fucking NFLers that got knockout power like that don't grow on trees in the fight game. Nope. It just doesn't happen.
All right, let's take a quick gander at the UFC heavyweight rankings.
We're gonna do it. Dumpster fire for heavyweights.
Yeah,
let's just stroll down from 15.
You wouldn't take him over fucking Derek Lewis right now? I would take Greg Hardy.
All right,
over
so
Lewis.
Stephen Struve is the 14th ranked heavyweight in the UFC right now.
Greg Hardy knocks him out.
Andre Arlovsky.
Greg Hardy knocks him out. He
probably knocks out. Although he's got that head.
That's a decent fight.
Marcin Tibura, he probably knocks him out.
Probably knocks him out.
I mean, we still haven't seen him defend the takedown, but god damn it, he's an NFL linebacker. Pro Bowler. You tell me you can't defend the takedown? Bullshit.
A guy shot on him Saturday night and ended up dead. Like, straight up. Guy shot on him Saturday night and was literally 5 seconds later had 2 arms wrapped around his ankle getting
You're telling
blasted
me he
at the side of
can't
his head.
kill Olenek?
Yeah, oh my God. Like, come on, dude. Do you see Olenek choking out fucking Greg Hardy, or do you see him on his back dead? Like, seriously.
Really,
Greg
that's
Hardy
the
could
only, like,
take
that style, I think, is the only one that kind of on that fringe top 10 that would have a chance for some reason. He falls down and a crazy jiu-jitsu guy is able to snatch something up. But other than that, there's nothing in the top 10.
My pants would be on the wall if we saw, like, Junior Dos Santos versus Greg Hardy.
That'd be wild.
That'd be fucking wild.
But, like, we're talking about...
The fucking JDS left-handed haymaker versus Greg Hardy's fucking death nail. Oh, God. Wes, I might die.
I mean, we're sitting here talking about Greg Hardy at this moment in the same breath as top 5, 6, 7 heavyweights in the world. Like, straight up.
We're not dumb. I mean, we've been watching this for how long? We've been talking about this for how long?
Long enough, yeah.
We watched this more than the fucking... Let's not... Yeah, I mean, the judges... Joe Rogan didn't even know who fucking you bet.
That shit was awesome.
How many people does he not know? How much money is he getting paid not to know who the fuck these people are? Too much weed, too much
well, he just doesn't give a fuck anymore. He doesn't care. He knows the big name guys, and
that's all he needs to know. Yeah,
he doesn't give a shit. He's all he's covering these pay-per-view cards.
He's John Madden.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, John Madden.
John Madden knew the game.
John Madden knew who everybody was.
Well, that's
you best believe John Anik knows every single fighter on the roster. I would almost guarantee.
But that's his job. Joe Rogan's got
he's the
2 other jobs
play,
that are higher up than what he's doing for the UFC at this point.
Yeah, we'll go with that. We'll agree. Yes. So. Let's continue with Bellator. So we had a Douglas Lima-Andrei Koreshkov rematch, and it looks like Douglas Lima wins again? Is that accurate?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Was it close? Yeah. Tell me.
No, not really.
Not really. It was
wow.
It was a close fight for about a round, and then Lima was just kind of edging him. Koreshkov couldn't take him down, so it was kind of he was kind of fucked. He was just getting kind of beat up on the feet, and that was an awesome finish. He snatched that so quickly. Koreshkov went for a desperation takedown, and Lima defended it, hopped on his back, and he was choked out within like 5 seconds. It was nice.
So Koreshkov now has lost twice to Douglas Lima and Ben Askren.
It just looked to me like Lima just was the fresher, more guy that hadn't been in them wars, man. Koreshkov ain't been beat that many times either, but he just looked like the older, slower guy here, man. Lima looked really, really good, man. He was just one step ahead of him the entire fight. That finish was pretty slick. It was nice.
I didn't realize Koreshkov lost the decision Lima lost the decision to Koreshkov the first time. So they fought 3 times.
Yeah, but that was a weird fight too, because Koreshkov dominated, but Lima came in with some injuries into that fight, and he looked like absolute dog shit. So it's kind of a weird trilogy. I think Lima's the better fighter
at this point. Definitely.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah.
So Lima moves on to fight who in that welterweight tournament? Do you know what his bracket?
I forgot about the tournament.
You guys can keep going. I'm going to look up the bracket.
I don't even know who was in the tournament. I keep forgetting.
Ed Ruth.
Oh, that's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Undefeated Ed Ruth.
That's right.
Who Khabib has taken down multiple times, by the way, and out-wrestled according to Daniel Cormier. Just saying.
Yeah, but
no, not yeah.
Well, you know how about listening to shit that happens in the gym. So
we had Rampage Vanderlei again. Hey, through this.
Hey, dude.
Don't tell me, hey. This is fun.
It was actually pretty fun considering because they literally did not give a fuck. They were they were just.
Was it more fun than Ken Shamrock and Hoist Gracie?
Yes, it was better.
Wow, dude, they threw down, man.
It was a little stale for a bit. There were a couple minutes where neither of them were throwing, and then they kind of said, "Fuck." No, it wasn't even tired. They just weren't engaging, and then they kind of both waved each other on and said, "Fuck it," and then they just started throwing in the pocket.
Yeah, I thought my Rampage by decision was just golden. You know, I was like, hell yeah, this is what I want to see, man. And then they just fucking went loose, man, and it was fun, dude. It gets a deserved place in their kind of career fights. You know, it deserves to be in there because it was really fun, man. Kind of went how it went, though, how I thought it would go, though. Just Quinn, the bigger guy, a little bit younger, fought a little bit more recently. He just eventually caught Vandalay, man. He was way bigger in that fight.
Geriatric fatties, man.
It was fun, man. I don't see how you don't enjoy that. I thought that was
much better than expected for how we thought that was going to go and how some of these other old fighters
Chael Vandalay or Chael Quinn. That's how we thought it was
that's the kind of way you have to go. If you got a wrestler in these geriatric fights, then it's going to be shitty. If you got two guys that are going to stand up and bang, then maybe it won't be bad. And this one turned out to be pleasantly surprising.
And then in the main event, you didn't need to be a Twitter nerd to know that Gegard Mousasi is going to run circles around Rory McDonald.
Domination.
But that's what happened. Wes, how bad was this? Was this as dominant as we thought it was going to be last week?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. Our boy Bo's been on it for months now, and I think we all talked about it for quite a while now. This was probably one of the easier fights to predict, and recently. Kind of went exactly how we thought. I mean, Roy's nose literally rearranged again, bleeding everywhere. Mousasi the bigger, better fighter, man.
BSJ.
I mean, we saw some people even saying that now Mousasi's getting overrated and stuff, and I just. Man, shut the fuck up. Like really. Just because I don't get the hate when somebody goes to Bellator, man. It's like you're nothing anymore. You're not the same fighter. I mean, he's still over. I mean, Roy's still considered one of the, maybe top 10 guys, somewhere around there. I mean, it's a good win, and he completely dominated him. Yeah, I don't get it, man. Guys go over to Bellator, and I think they lose a little shine, and I don't agree with it, man. I still think Mousasi's one of the best 185ers in the world. You think he's overrated? I don't know what to say to that, man. I don't know if I can respect too much of your opinion if you think Gegard Mousasi is overrated at this point.
Nushan?
Yeah, I mean, it almost got sad at the end. I was kind of bummed that Rory was taking the beating that he was. Hopefully that doesn't really fuck up the welterweight Grand Prix, because I would like to see him win it and do well in it. But yeah, this was fairly easy. I don't know how you could see it going the other way. I like Rory as a fighter, but this is just not a good matchup. And I don't know. At least Bellator's doing some weird, interesting shit instead of the stale stuff that the UFC won't try to do. But whatever, it is what it is. Easy win. I don't know what Mousasi's going to do next. Lovato Jr. maybe. We'll see. And then just FYI, Lima's going to fight the winner of Paul Daly MVP.
Ooh.
Oh, okay, that could be fun. Do you guys see the tweet I sent you guys?
I'm trying to get to it. I don't fucking know this new damn Skype setup.
Oh, man.
How the hell do I get to it? How do I get to our chat?
Come on.
You can go to the Twitter chat too if you want.
Dude.
That is the beauty. Some people got a lot of things to say, Jay.
Yeah, that's one way to put it. It looks like the Yankees are need to figure out something here now. Little.
Athletics coming back or what?
First and second, no outs in the fifth.
Oh, they only got 2-0. They got 2 in the first. Good stuff. So, should we, with
Get
that
to the-
done, get to the main,
get to-
the biggest,
why people
the
came
biggest
here?
fight card ever, according to a bunch of MMA media that
All
their
12
life
fights?
depends on this fight being
Look,
the biggest in the world.
I even got a little bit of something to say about this being the biggest MMA fight ever. Like, I get it's a big fight and everything, but
It is.
come on.
But
man.
I don't. Do you feel it?
Most pay-per-views.
I tell you what, this is the least kind of hysteria around the Conor McGregor fight that I can remember.
It's
Like,
been a
it's
while.
really not like had as much like hype and shit around it. I don't think. Like, hell, but the past few McGregor fights, he's literally like on every TV show every day, all over the place, and it's like,
I think a lot of it has to do with there's so much other sports going on.
It is a
There's
tough
a
time
lot.
of year. October
You know,
He's
is a
not-
bitch of a time.
playoffs, football's going on. You're in the middle
Hockey's
of
starting.
everything.
McGregor's trying to sell shitty whiskey instead of promoting a fight, shit like that.
I mean, I hope it does well. I
But
just don't.
It will do well.
I don't know. Yeah, but Dana White's talking 3 million buys. Like, get the fuck out of
He's
here.
out of his fucking
He's out of
mind.
his fucking mind. He'll be.
There's-
It'll be a
there's-
good fight if it breaks the record. I will say it's a good fight card.
I think it will.
I don't know.
If it
man.
goes,
I don't
it goes
know.
3 million, I will go like these shitty MMA bloggers and go fucking buy a bottle of that shitty Conor McGregor
And
whiskey.
do
I've
a
had a lot of
review
people-
on it
where
on
you
Twitter
watching
like
it?
they're all
Where you-
doing.
A lot of people are asking,
Like-
where are you watching it? It has those like I got to go out and watch it kind of feels to it. So a lot of people are asking. So
All right.
I don't like going out watching fights myself, but
you
That's
getting
fair.
old. You getting old, Sosman.
It just doesn't like the Connor fans and the bar UFC fans.
I like.
I'm more when I watch fights. I'm kind of more of I like to watch fights. You know what I'm
And
saying?
get lit the fuck up.
Yeah, any of my friends that rarely watch a fight now to go over. It's literally it's drinking and bullshitting, and the fight's kind of secondary almost. I like watching fights, so I'm almost in a room by myself every fight card with a fucking bowl and a bottle.
I get you. I like to watch most sports by myself because it's quite frankly it's hard to find people that are as interested in it as
Yeah,
you
that's
are.
fair.
And that could be any sport for that matter.
If you're talking about it, you want to be talking about the. If you're bullshitting and talking, usually you want to be talking about the game or the fight. Most people's not like that.
Yeah.
And it's hard to find. It's to be honest, it's hard to find people that kind of are on the same wavelength.
Yeah,
I agree.
You know, who you can kind of talk.
especially with MMA.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Let's talk about who won each round. Like, yeah, you want to talk. Real stuff with not just top line bullshit. Yeah, I get it. Anyway, so UFC 229 live in Vegas, headlined by Khabib and Conor. We'll get to that in a bit. First fight, which I actually think is a pretty interesting fight on paper. I'm surprised it's the first fight of this card. Ryan LaFleur taking on moving up to welterweight, Tony Martin. What do you think about this one, Wes?
Yeah, this is a really, really close fight, man. I'm still not. I'm gonna look at it a little more. One thing I will say is I don't see how this fight doesn't make it to the final bell.
Minus
Like,
380 for the over.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. I was looking at fight goes to decision, maybe doing a little parlay or something with that because this fight's going 15 minutes. But man, it's a pretty tough one to predict. I think LaFleur is a little bit better. They're almost really the same kind of fighter to me. LaFleur, decent win against Alex Garcia. That's been about 4 months ago. Man, this one's hard for me. I think it really is a coin flip. I will probably pick LaFleur here. Man, I just think he can keep him at the end. He's a little bit longer guy. If he can keep it, outside, man. But they both like to grind a lot. It's just a tough fight to me, man. I'm going to go LaFleur right now. I want to look at it a little more. I won't be betting either side on here. We'll probably end up picking if one of them gets to be a bigger dog here. which I probably don't see Martin's the underdog now, but it's probably going to stay right around that pick. Probably LaFleur for me and Talmaster, but no bet.
New Sean.
So this is Tony Martin's second fight at welterweight. His last against Nakamura was welterweight, so hopefully he'll have bulked up a bit more and be more of a welterweight than just an inflated lightweight. Like Wes said, I think it's a close fight. I don't have too much of an angle on this fight. I'll pray that somebody gets knocked out because Ryan LaFleur doesn't have his fights are generally not the most exciting just because of his style, wall and stall kind of grind fest. Tony Martin does have some subs on his record, so maybe he snatches that up, but I'll pick Tony Martin. I don't really care too much about this fight, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, no grades for me this week. I told you I've switched up the machine, so I'll be back next week with all the grades. But in general, LaFleur, better wrestler, think better striking combinations. Martin a little bit younger, more dynamic with his submission game for sure. But I expect this mainly to be a stand-up contest. I think you'll see some distance striking. I think LaFleur is just a better combination striker than Tony Martin. I think he wins. All right. Next bout up, Nick Lentz versus Gray Maynard in a battle of aging wrestlers, I think. Wes?
Yeah, I mean, they pretty much they're rolling Gray out in the coffin like fucking Undertaker. He's going to sit up come the first bell.
My God.
I like Nick Lentz here, man. I bet Gray the past couple times, man. I bet him against Ryan Hall. I'm still fucking so salty about that. I swear to God, if Ryan Hall does that shit to BJ Penn, I might never watch this sport again. I might completely give up. No MMA, no NASCAR for me next year is going to be pretty fucking tough. Yeah, I like Lentz here, man. I think I don't think much of Lentz anymore, but dude, he's gonna grind on Gray here, dude. Gray is just completely fucking done. I think I don't even think he could most of the time win the wrestling here in this fight anymore. I think he's totally washed. I'm gonna take a little shot on. I played Lentz inside the distance at, I believe it was plus 290, plus 285, something like that the other day. Just a small shot. I think Lentz can get a second or third round finish in this fight on a just completely done Gray Maynard.
All right, new Sean, what do you think about this bout?
Gray Maynard hasn't been finished in 5 fights.
Wow.
Yeah. I think he's due. I think he's due to get finished. He is so shot. In this fight, I think the wrestling kind of cancels, and I think this is going to be a striking fight, and I'll take the guy with the better chin. I know Lentz's striking's not great, but he's been able to put a couple of guys away. I could see him rocking Gray and then grabbing a guillotine or something like that, but I got Lentz inside the distance for half a U at plus 300.
Here we go.
Yeah, I like Lentz too. Maynard's so much slower, just not trustable at this point. That's not even a word, but that's basically the way I see it.
It works.
This feels like an MMA nerd, Twitter nerd specifically, kind of bet on Nick Lentz. So pretty much the only reason why I wouldn't bet it, because you know how it goes when the Twitter nerds are all on one side. Anyway. Fight Pass headliner, Lena Landsberg taking on Yana Kunitskaya. Wes, do you have an opinion here?
Goes the distance, probably taking the dog in Talmaster.
All right, new Sean.
I'm not betting it. It probably goes the distance, but I'll pick the favorite.
And that is?
Kunitskaya.
I'm going to agree exactly with New Sean on that. Landsberg likes to fight in the clinch every time and offers nothing else. Next bout up, I wonder if there will be strong opinions on this one. Scott Hot Sauce.
Hot sizzle.
Hot what?
Hot sizzle.
Hot sizzle. Sorry. Hot sizzle. Holtzman taking on Alan Patrick.
Ugh.
Wes, USA or Brazil?
Man, I think Patrick should probably win this fight. I think he's going to be the larger guy here. He kind of muscle Holtzman around. Holtzman likes to get in these just kind of dirty, grimy fights, man, and usually gasses in them. Thing is, Patrick kind of does too. So the third round rolls around here, and they've been grinding for two. There's no fucking telling. I don't think Patrick should be this big a fave here. I think this could be a really, like I said, ugly fight come the third round. And who knows if Holtzman could just snatch something up on a guy that I think gasses a lot. Holtzman gasses too. This thing. I just don't think he should be a 2-1 dog here. I'm not playing anything here. We'll probably take Holtzman at Top Master, but if he goes up some more, he gets plus 275 or something like that. I'll have to take a small shot on Holtzman in this fight.
All right, Nushan, tell me you disagree, and Alan Patrick runs away with this bout.
Yeah, I disagree. I think I'm not betting it, but I think Alan Patrick gets undervalued just because of the way he fights. And, I mean, also he didn't fight for fucking 2.5 years or whatever the hell it was. He's beat some decent fighters. He's got a pretty good game. It's just not exciting whatsoever. The total on this is, again, over 2.5 is minus 380. This is likely going to go to decision. I know we're kind of down on Holtzman. We were happy when I think you guys were in attendance when he beat Tony Puddings.
Yeah,
and then
not saying much.
Yeah, that's for sure not saying much. He lost to Drew Dober, which I think at the time we didn't think was a good loss. In hindsight, not that bad. He lost to Josh Emmett. In hindsight, not a terrible loss. So I don't know. Maybe he's not as bad as we think he is, but I think Patrick is just going to wear him out and win a boring-ass decision.
Fine.
Jay
is not having it.
I mean, I've never really seen it with Holtzman. I feel like he's been a guy who I thought would be better than he is, but he slows down. His wrestling isn't as good as it should be, and now he's faced an Alan Patrick who's bigger, stronger, more dynamic striker. And it shows he can grapple himself. I mean, I like Alan Patrick here. I don't think this fight's close. Next bout up, Aspen Ladd taking on every woman's fantasy, Tanya Evans. Yeah.
Our boy Dougie, shout out. This is old lady right here.
Uh-huh. A little bit of a cheese grater there.
Man, I tell you what, if I kind of like Evanger in this fight. I'm worried she's getting a little to the older side, and man, these picks that came out of Ladd the past week or two, dude, like this chick is on some fucking magma shit, dude. Like, have you seen these picks?
No.
Like, she's fucking massive.
Send us
Shredded
a picture.
or what?
Like, fucking
Find us
huge.
a picture and send us a picture.
Fucking huge, dude. She's on some shit, so...
Aspen Ladd is on. You're saying is looking
is
jacked.
on the fucking juice, like straight up. 135-pound women don't put on muscle like that without fucking shooting something up.
I'm excited. I want to look for it.
I think Evanger can win this fight, man. She always.
Where do I find these pictures?
I don't know. Somebody posted them on Twitter the other day, so that's kind of finding a needle in a haystack.
Yeah,
but,
definitely.
Yeah, fucking hell.
I'll look for them after this. I threw a tiny little bet on Evanger on the open at plus 185. It's a close fight. Really, though, no bullshitting around. Ladd has put on some massive muscle. I don't know how it's going to translate to this fight, but Evanger, that's where Evanger likes to fight, is in close and grind and fight. She's going to be the taller, kind of longer, have more leverage. But man, I don't know what all that muscle's gonna do for Ladd in this fight.
I may have found said picture.
Did you?
Where
she's flexing?
Yeah, that's the one I put in the chat. She is
massive.
She got them arms, man. She put me definitely to shame. I got some twiggy arms. She's got about 4 of mine together. That's for sure.
My pants are moving right now.
Yeah, she might be on something. I don't know.
Dude, 135-pound girls don't.
I fucking dig it.
Yeah,
I fucking dig it.
She's got the who's the mom quitter? The gold wrestler Sarah McMahon. She's giving her a run for her money for them arms. Holy cow!
I took a little Evanger, but that new bulk kind of worries me.
I don't blame you. That is a bit scary.
She's a young fighter though. You know, things happen.
Yeah, things happen. Mm-hmm. Somebody.
I don't know how you could realistically bet him, or realistically bet Tanya Evinger.
Hey, dude, I bet her before I saw those pics. I'm fucking.
Yeah, that didn't do his due diligence.
So,
that's the problem.
Just on that pictures alone, I liked Aspen Ladd before this fight. I think
he's like
she's sneaky.
He's in,
and I'm in.
She's got 5 finishes out of 6 fights.
Fuck yeah.
That's crazy, dude.
Look at her hanging out that wolf, dude. That wolf dog. You see that wolf dog she's hanging out with? Fucking husky. Shit, man. Canis lupus.
Did you find nudes?
Dog aren't all dog pictures nudes?
Dude, look at that wolf dog.
Dude, dogs are always nude. Don't hate.
Oh shit.
It's funny.
Yeah, I have no opinion of this fight. Based on strictly those pictures that have just been I have just found of Aspen Ladd, I will take her to body Tanya.
It's insane.
A tweet.
Like look at her before her last fight, dude, or a couple fights. It's crazy.
She's not training MMA at all. She's just hitting the gym, hitting the curls, lifting like crazy.
Look at my latest tweet.
Oh, here we go, Jay.
They want to talk about Claudia and shit. Y'all need to be drug testing this chick.
Yep. Nobody's checking her Twitter, now they will.
Ecto cool. Pretty much, bro. I'm telling you.
Cooler. Good
Fuck
stuff.
Yeah, dude.
So,
anyway.
Based on this, what is your thoughts, Jay?
I thought I already gave my thoughts. I'm in.
Jay's in. There it is. That's all you need to say.
Evinger's old and dying, and Ladd is young and growing. Yeah. Anyway, Vicente Luque is taking on something called Jalen Turner. Wes, tell me about Jalen Turner and why anybody should care.
Nobody knows much about Jalen Turner. This is a short notice fight. Vicente Luque by any way he wants.
Jalen Turner sounds like a sophomore at Ohio State University. Doesn't sound like
that's very fair. That is exactly what that sounds like.
On the lacrosse team.
Luque is supposed to fight.
Can't remember who he. It was a much better fight.
I think this is like a last.
I'm gonna see if I can look it up.
This was a last second ad, but I don't think it was like a replacement.
He was supposed to fight. I don't know.
Nothing on Tapology.
Well, he was originally scheduled. Yeah, I don't know.
I think this was just an addition.
I think he was supposed to fight somebody else on a different card.
Oh, okay.
And they gave him another fight on this card. It's still kind of short notice, but not like.
Yeah.
Definitely
a weird fight. Luque, who's a pretty damn good fighter on the come up, fighting a debuting fighter off the Contender Series. They're kind of throwing these Contender Series guys to the wolves a bit, depending on which one it is. We've seen a couple of these guys just get tossed in there against guys that shouldn't be fighting them. Luque's going to wreck this guy. I don't know if he gets a choke or he knocks him out, but he's minus 900. I don't think there's much value in much unless you want to flip a coin and take him by TKO or take him by sub specifically. I don't know. He's going to crush. I don't know how he's going to do it.
some good Twitter stuff tonight. Do you see this one? Wondering which one is a picture of Rogan looking confused. Wondering which one is Eubanks and which one is Mukagian.
Oh, fucking Rogan.
Anyway, yeah, I don't really have an opinion. I don't really care. Luke has impressed me in his time in the UFC, and I'm assuming he'll be able to beat a newcomer. But at 9-1, yeah, that's keep your money in your pocket. Televised headliner, good matchup in the flyweight division, one of the best matchups on this card overall. Little Pettis taking on Jussier Formiga, probably the most underrated guy in this division. Wes, tell me about it.
Yeah, man, I don't know. I think we're at another point of MMA Twitter nerdom and just guys getting one little win and just get hyped up. I just don't get this line whatsoever, man. I mean, I think Juicy's one of the best guys in this division. I know Pettis is. I think Pettis is pretty good, man. But this is him being a favorite here, coming off a split against Joe B, who, like, anybody who watched that fight and everybody that was tweeting that night pretty much said the same thing, that, you know, Joe B looked like he lost a step, maybe two. Like, the dude literally looked like he was declining before our eyes.
And still might have won the fight.
Yeah, I thought he did, but I bet on him, so I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to say anything. But however you scored it, decent win. But come on, man, to be a favorite against Formiga, that's it. That's insane, man. I think Formiga does what he wants in this fight, man. Like, seriously, Pettis still can't really stop a takedown. If Formiga wants us on the mat, it's going to go to the mat, and then Pettis is just—it's a different world down there. I mean, I guess the all-around striking kickboxing is kind of close. Pettis, he can strike fairly well, but man, I don't get the line here. I hammered plus 135. I took a little more, plus 125. I'm probably in far too deep on Juicy here, but outside of one other guy on this entire card, I just cannot see how you can't play this. I mean, win or lose, I think this is beyond more than a 50% chance of Formiga winning this fight. I don't see how you can pass on dog odds in this fight. So I'm big on Juicy in this fight.
All right, Nushan, share your thoughts.
Yeah, I'm definitely not a fan of Pettis. I mean, he is a fairly fun fighter, but I just don't. I've never got the hype behind him. I think it's pretty much his name, his brother's name, kind of give him a bump. I think this line is elevated based on his last win. He beat Joseph Benavidez, kind of, but that is a kind of a Benavidez that's not the Benavidez that kind of we know of. And I think that's why this line is elevated. I think it's closer to a pick'em, maybe with a slight edge to Formiga. Like Wes said, Pettis still can't really wrestle, and if Jussier Formiga gets you down, he's going to get your back, and it's going to be not a good time for you, because he is usually going to grab something at that point. Formiga has really improved his striking along the way in his UFC career. Kind of just came from just a strictly jiu-jitsu guy. Pettis definitely has the edge in that department, but I don't think it's enough of an edge that he's just going to flat KO Formiga, and I think Formiga's going to be able to get him down, and at that point I think Formiga's going to just dominate on the mat and possibly even grab a sub. So I took Formiga for 1 unit at plus 140.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to make it 3 for 3. I like Formiga too. I mean, again, Pettis is a decent fighter. He's improved in his time in the UFC, but I think Formiga, just more talented, just more ways to win this bout, and continues to be undervalued by everybody in the community, whether that's just pundits, whether that's gamblers, whether that's fans. Is kind of a low-key guy, and It just goes underneath the radar. He's been one of the best in this division pretty much for a decade. And he's better than Sergio Pettis. So I'll pick him to win, and he is one of our consensus bets on this card. We're doing a full unit play on Sergio Pettis, or rather on Jussier Formiga. Don't confuse that, Twitter nerds. Plus 135. Yep. Jussier Formiga, plus 135. All right, main card. We're looking at a battle of girls who like to show off on Instagram.
And
Felice
get
Herrig, and get punched in the face. You got Felice Herrig taking on Mom Booty, whatever she's doing. Michelle Waterson, Wes. Herrig's winning this fight, isn't she?
I'm leaning that way. I've never been the biggest Waterson fan. I've bet against her, I think, almost every time out. It paid off for me a couple times before the last. I thought she still probably lost the last fight against Courtney Casey. Felice is just, man, she's tough. I know going into the Carolina fight, we had quite a bit of praise for her, I believe, on this show too. I mean, she was on a hell of a winning streak. Looked like she was taking the fighting a little more seriously, and as much as Felice can, I guess. But she'd improved quite a bit, I thought. That was still a decent performance in the loss to Carolina. So, yeah, I like Herring in this fight. I still think, man, it's close, dude. These are two fighters that are pretty much on the same level, I think. I mean, I can't have no money on it. It's very, very close. But I'm leaning Herring. Just think she's a tiny bit better.
New Sean.
After seeing Waterson just get absolutely smashed by Rose, I was worried about her for kind of the rest of her career. She got beat pretty decently by Tisha Torres. Snuck out a win against Courtney Casey. I think she's probably going to lose this one. I know I'm not really a big fan of Felice Herrig. She has definitely improved from when she started, because back then she was pretty terrible, and now she's actually a pretty decent fighter for that division. So definitely lean Herrig, but I don't know, maybe Waterson has another couple wins left in her career, but if Herrig gets her down, I mean, the size advantage is going to be pretty big, so that Waterson is definitely going to have to keep it on the feet, or else she's going to get smashed probably.
Yeah, I like Felice Herrig in this bout. I like her scrappiness. I like her work ethic. I mean, I think she's one of the most improved fighters in the UFC over the last 2 to 3 years. I know I've said this before about her, and I really do believe that. I thought she was going absolutely nowhere in this division, and she proved me wrong. She's solid. Michelle Waterson's too busy playing, doing some commentating or UFC stuff, and then taking pictures of herself on Instagram.
She did the challenge too. She was on the fucking
the
film
TV show.
Yeah, she filmed that.
She's got one foot out the door, doing other stuff, and Felice obviously wants to fight, has a lot to offer. So I'm going to take Felice. I think this is a good opportunity for her, and the price isn't bad. So if you're looking for, kind of an even money kind of a play or close to it, Felice is your bet. Next bout, very interesting heavyweight bout, important bout in the heavyweight division. Derek Lewis, the Black Beast. The guy, let's not go there. Talking about taking on, rather, Alexander Volkov, former Bellator heavyweight champion. Wes, Russia or U.S.?
Or your favorite fighter, Wes?
Look, I like Derek. I like Derek Lewis outside.
Are you sure you do?
He doesn't. He's never bet him in his entire life. He thinks he's the worst.
I like the guy outside of cages. Look, I don't like this generation of heavyweight, fighters. I mean, he's not like total shit, but he's still shit. You know, he's not like, man, fuck that Ngannou fight.
More like Manor.
That pisses me off like to no end because both of those dudes did absolutely fucking nothing in that fight. Like literally, you got a guy like Ngannou with that name sitting there doing nothing to you, and you just sit there and do nothing too. Like that, he should have took advantage of that and made a fucking huge name off of himself right in that fight. He doesn't because he's shit. That's the kind of shit fighter that Derek Lewis is.
I knew I could cite a rant from Wes. There we go.
Look, he doesn't do shit. He fucking lays on it. Don't take the guy down. He lays on. How many guys done laid on this motherfucker for round after round after round? I mean, Roy Nelson laid on him for 5 rounds. He lost that fight. He just somehow gets these fucking gift decisions. He catches guys every now and then, but this is a different guy here. Volkov is gonna fuck him up, dude. Like straight up, Volkov is gonna fuck up Derek Lewis. Put your fucking money on it. He's gonna fuck up Derek Lewis. I like Derek Lewis outside the cage though. He's a cool cat, man.
Oh fuck, that was good. Oh, I knew I could cite a good rant from Wes, and that's exactly what I was going for. So no matter what Wes tells you, Derek Lewis is 7-1 in his last 8 fights. Now he's not fighting anybody really too good, but he's still doing what he should do in those fights. I think Volkov wins this fight. He's just going to have so much reach on him, and he's actually a guy that uses it fairly well. But this is heavyweights, and one punch can absolutely change it. Derek Lewis doesn't really have one-shot KO power as a heavyweight, but he does have some pretty sweet ground and pound if he can get it there.
That ground and pound is, whew, yeah. That is
so
shit.
If Volkov ends up on his back, this could be bad for him. I'm going to pick Volkov, but I can't touch this. I hate betting heavyweight fights in general. I think there's way more variance when it comes to them, so I will steer clear. I think Volkov uses his jab and possibly finishes Derek Lewis with a sub on the ground.
Yeah, I like Volkov in this fight. Longer, better jab, way better striking combinations. I don't think Derek Lewis gets this fight to the ground. And Lewis is going to be looking for haymakers. I think that Volkov's just, from a technical standpoint, just a way better striker, both offensively and defensively. I think this matchup really works into his hands. So I'm going to take Alexander Volkov to get the biggest win of his career. Not sure how he'll win, but he should get the job done, and then he'll move on probably to, that's a good question, maybe to a title fight. Tough to tell.
Getting close.
It's getting close. Uh-oh, Yankees making moves. There's a run.
3-0 now?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. 3 fights left on the card. We have, oh boy, we got Dominic Reyes taking on. Exactly. Yes, the Tennessee Volunteer. If I hear Rocky Top one more time, Wes. Oh man. All right, Wes. Does Osp is almost a 2-1 underdog in this bout. What do you think of that line?
I think it might be a little bit off, man. I think Reyes he probably wins this fight. He's got some decent wins, man. But like, man, somehow Osp just, man, he pulls out fucking wins out of his ass in some of these fights, man. Reyes is just starching dudes. Like, he's just knocking everybody out in the first round. He's not been putting too much, into a dogfight, and it just seems like OSP gets into quite a few of those, man, and he comes out on top of a lot of them. I think Reyes is the better fighter. Osp is probably getting to be on the decline. I mean, he's 35 now. Been in a lot of tough fights. But man, it is a little bit disrespectful, man. 2-1 against a guy that I don't even think he's been out of the first round in a couple years, man. A few years. You can take that either which way you want, but I mean, he's knocking out the Joachim Christensen's and the fucking Jeremy Kimball's of the world. So, I mean, we'll see. I lean Reyes winning this fight. I do think he's a younger, up-and-coming fighter. But, man, like I said, Osp stays in there tough. He's a tough guy, and he wins a lot of those gritty fights, man, against guys that I think are probably on the level or better than Reyes. So I'm going to probably pick Reyes, but no bet on this one for me.
All right, new Sean.
I'm a bit worried that I've got caught up in a hype train. This happens from time to time on Twitter, and I might have fell into it. I think Dominic Reyes is a pretty damn good fighter, and he's continuing to add to his repertoire. I know he hasn't fought anybody really good, so that is a bit worrying, but at some point you got to take that step. He does seem to have just very, very good power and some pretty damn good technique. OSP is a weird style fighter. He does things. I mean, he got to a point where he confused the GOAT and wasn't able to get finished by the GOAT. So he just seems to have a weird style. He kind of mesmerizes guys and is able to pull guys into a boring fight. I don't know if that's possible against Dominic Reyes because, like Wes said, he's 9-0 and he has 8 first-round finishes. So I do expect him to get to OSP, clip him, drop him, and finish him. It is a decent size step up, but I think he does have the tools to do it. So I got him in a parlay. I got him at -196, and I put him in a parlay with something later on the card.
Yeah, this is a tough fight because Reyes has looked good in the UFC. I mean, I was pretty high on him when he entered the organization, but I mean, he's still a decent-sized athlete more than anything. Osp is at least has fought really high-level competition, has some pretty big wins, obviously has a bunch of losses too, has some weird losses on top of that. But you kind of know at least you kind of know where your ceiling is with Osp. With Reyes, you really have no idea. And he just hasn't faced anybody where you can really test yourself and like, okay, I'm confident this guy could beat him. So at plus odds, I think Osp is definitely worth consideration. I mean, nearly plus 200 for a guy like this against a guy like who he's facing. I think that's absolutely worth a bet. Anyway, co-main event, we got Tony Ferguson taking on Anthony Pettis, and I guess if one of the two main event guys don't show up, you get Tony Ferguson. Is that accurate, Wes?
I don't know.
Let's just assume.
Yeah, who knows what? Who knows?
Has to be right.
Yeah, I don't know if McGregor's going to take that. You think McGregor's going to take that fight on one day's notice?
Yeah, I guess that's the point.
Probably.
Khabib, I think, would, but I don't know about Conor.
Man, this is I don't know, man. I don't think this fight is as close as a lot of people think it's going to be, man. I mean, Tony Ferguson is just something different, man. You just don't see many guys like just not his personality or anything. I mean, he's fucking out there. Don't get me wrong, but the dude's fighting is just it's fucking different, man. It's fun. Guys lost like fucking once, dude, in what 7 or 8 years. Just an incredible streak, man. And Pettis is just to the point. I mean, he's beating guys like Chiesa, not taking anything from Chiesa, but I mean, he's not at this level. Jim Miller and shit. I mean, they're just not at this level, man. This fight's all going to come down to pressure for me. I just think Ferg is going to put too much pressure on Pettis, man, and that's going to be a problem for Pettis when Pettis can't sit back and kickbox, which he can still do very, very well. He's in trouble, man, and I don't think Ferguson's going to have, if this hits the mat, Ferguson's not going to have too much problems with Pettis's ground game, in my opinion. Tony's just he's way too good on the mat. I don't think this fight's going to be close, man. I think Ferg puts the pressure on Pettis from the fucking opening bell, and Pettis has started in his losses lately. Has gotten tired, man. He's faded, and some of these that body shot loss to Poirier. I mean, I like Tony pretty big here, man. I think he's going to roll. I got Tony in a few things. On past cards and put him with something else on this card. So yeah, I like Ferg pretty big here. Let's not forget too that I think his brother's going to get choked out earlier on the card.
Yeah, that's never a good vibe, right?
And that's never a good thing for a fighter. I don't care who they are.
I agree with you there. Definitely in that regard. Nushan, are you on the same wavelength as Wes here in terms of Tony all the way?
Yeah, pretty much. The only thing I do worry about with Tony is obviously he had that bad knee injury, and he is coming back fairly quickly. But Tony Ferguson is a fucking weirdo, so maybe his body heals the double as fast as a normal human being. I don't know. He's a crazy dude, and he is going to put so much pressure on Pettis. I think his striking. I think he could straight up wrestle Tony Pettis for the whole fight if he really wanted to. Pettis' wrestling has always been just dog shit awful, and it's hard to explain considering he wrestles supposedly all the time with fucking ass cream.
Yeah.
So I don't know whatever happened there.
Of his career.
Yeah, if he ever got takedown defense, he could have been. I mean, he was a good fighter for a long time. It just seems like he's fizzled. I think some people are talking about a resurgence. I just don't see it. I think this is going to be all Tony Ferguson, wherever it goes. His pressure, his striking, his grappling. It's going to be a lot, and Pettis hasn't really shown very good lately when it comes to that. Max Holloway was able to put it on him, and that's kind of the style that I see Ferguson putting it on him. I did take Tony Ferguson to win inside the distance. I know Pettis has been pretty tough to finish. He was anyway in his earlier career. Now lately he's been a little more susceptible to it. So I got one unit on that at plus 137. I am going to try to hit a middle, though, so I also did take Ferguson, the fight to start round 2 in a parlay with Frankie Edgar, which is like a month down the road or 2 months down the road, whatever. But,
I'll be there, baby.
Yeah, we'll be there.
Oh, we'll be there.
But Pettis still is pretty tough. I don't think he gets just flatlined in one round, but I think in late in the second or early third, Fergus is going to either drop him and choke him out or just TKO him with punches on the ground.
That's what I think. Accumulation.
Yeah, I'll keep this quick. I just think the volume of Ferguson is just too much for Pettis, who's kind of become I mean, as good as Pettis was on the feet or is on the feet, like he just doesn't throw enough, in my opinion. He certainly has talent, but Ferguson's just pressure and just constant work is just like a nightmare for a guy like Anthony Pettis. And over 3 rounds, I absolutely think Pettis can't win 2 of them. I just don't see it. Main event.
This is the one. This is the one that we never thought was ever going to happen, but I don't want to jinx it. I just jinxed it, but
you still got to make the walk.
Damn it!
We got champion, undefeated, never lost a round on any scorecard in his entire MMA career. Khabib Nurmagomedov taking on former 2-time champion, former guy who fought Floyd Mayweather, returning to the MMA and first time in 23 months, Conor McGregor. Main event, Las Vegas. Wes, talk to me.
Yeah, I wouldn't go so far as say fought Floyd Mayweather. Maybe we got sparred on.
This is as nice as I was going to be. Everyone knows where I'm going.
Yeah, man, truthfully, a year or 2 ago, I think we've all talked about it. we didn't think this was ever going to happen. We didn't think Conor was gonna make the walk against Khabib. At least I wasn't 100% sure that he would ever make the walk against Khabib. So, hey, his legend does live there. I'll give Conor that. That dude will fight anybody. I'll give him that. Props to him. But most think, of course, that I'm a Conor hater, but I respect the guy, man. He's a hell of a fighter. Stick's getting a little too much, though, man. Like this whole, but before we get in the fight, this whole whiskey thing, like
you gotta do it, man. Why would you not? If he's gonna make millions of dollars on it, why would you not do it?
What I'm getting into is you MMA dudes should be just embarrassed. Like seriously, you should be fucking embarrassed. Like literally shilling on the internet for this dude. Like y'all are all running out. Where can I get some of this? Oh man, my local store ain't got. Man, I even tweeted out. Y'all, you walk into a liquor store around this area.
Did you see what Flow Combat did?
No, I don't.
They did a fucking taste test, like Coke and Pepsi.
These guys, to be fair, Conor pays these guys bills because
of course
gets the most clicks. So you gotta play the game. So I understand.
You ain't got to shield a guy's shitty whiskey. I mean, come on, that's just the bar a little too far. But yeah, man, the fight that this is what we all wanted to see, man. I still think Khabib's the greatest lightweight walking the planet. I think Conor's going to be in some trouble here, man. Don't get me wrong. The guy could do. He could win the fight. I'm not going to say it's 100% Khabib, but look, the Conor like one punch knockout power is a little overrated. He did it against Aldo. That was a certain circumstance and situation, catching a guy. The power's a little overrated. We've never seen Khabib hurt. Like we talked about Ferguson's pressure.
They keep talking about this Michael Johnson punch that Khabib was so hurt by. I mean, was he really though? I mean, like let's be honest here. Like he took him down like seconds later,
and he won the round. Yeah.
I think the question is you don't want to take too many of those from Conor over a guy like Michael Johnson. I agree with that. You don't want to take those repeatedly from Conor, but I don't think Khabib is coming in and shooting, and he's not a fucking idiot. He knows this ain't Michael Johnson. You know what I'm saying? Like, sure. He knows this ain't Horcher. He knows who he's fighting. And the more astonishing thing to me is all the Conor nuthuggers that think his, 2 years of takedown training or however fucking long with whatever wrestler he's got coming in over in fucking Ireland is going to fucking prepare him for Khabib. Probably the greatest fucking transferring Raw
MMA
wrestling
wrestler.
To transferring that Raw wrestling to MMA. I don't think we've ever seen anybody do it like him, man. And I just don't see how if Conor doesn't get that guy with something coming in early, after one round he's gonna be in some fucking trouble because he's gonna be battered up. If Conor doesn't get him out of there within 30 seconds, 45 seconds, whatever, the first time Khabib gets a hold of him, he's going down and he's gonna take some fucking punishment. So however fucked up he gets in that first sequence is gonna decide how long the fight goes. I don't see this going 5 whatsoever, whether Conor wins or Khabib. And man, as much as I think Conor is a great fighter, he really is, man. He's getting up there, legend all time, great fighter status. He's beat some great guys. He's fought pretty much all comers. I give him all those props. This is just this is a situation. This is a matchup, and it's a very, very bad matchup for Conor McGregor and pretty much anybody at 155 pounds. I like Khabib huge here, man. I think he should be more like -2 and -250, something in that range. But his points handicap, I believe, is -130 or something. Like Jay said, he's never lost one round on a scorecard. Even if you think Conor snatches one, maybe -5.5, that's incredible. I'll take some of that. I like Khabib inside the distance. I like Khabib huge here. That's no surprise to many, I'm sure. He's going to win this fight, though. I'm going all Robin Black. It's gonna happen.
It's gonna.
He's gonna stop.
He's gonna do.
He's gonna stop Conor McGregor, y'all. It's gonna happen.
All right, Wes. All right, new Sean. Give me your thoughts on this bout.
All right, I'm going to be a tiny bit of a devil's advocate for not just backing up the Brinks truck on Khabib. I don't believe this is a Floyd Mayweather versus Conor McGregor type of bet.
No way.
Yeah, this is just not one of
this isn't John Jones against DC either. I'm not saying that either. Yeah. Conor has more of a chance, I think, against Khabib than DC ever had against John Jones. I'll put it that way. Personally.
Yeah. Because credit to Conor, he's done things that I did not believe he could do. When he came back on Chad Mendes, that was very, very surprising. Doing what he did to Jose Aldo, absolutely obliterating Eddie Alvarez. Those are things that the Eddie Alvarez one, I kind of think I really like him on that side. But those other ones, he just does things, whether it's the power of his will. He's a really good striker. He does have those things. But from what I've seen, there's nothing that has proved that he can stop that takedown. Like Wes said, 2 years of straight sprawl training is not gonna let you stop that takedown if he gets in on you. And Khabib, I know he hasn't fought the elite of the elite, but you have to translate what he's done to the people that he's done it to. Some people aren't really impressed with what he did to Al Iaquinta. That was kind of a fucked up situation, last second, whatever. Al Iaquinta, or Conor McGregor, does not have the grappling and wrestling that Al Iaquinta does, so I think Conor's in trouble too. I really, really like the fight not to go the distance. That's the big bet that I'm on this fight. If Conor wins, I think it's going to be that first shot, or maybe a couple later, but it's going to have to be in that first round, maybe the second round. And what I think is much more likely to happen is Khabib able to get inside, takes him down, smashes him on the mat. Maybe he lasts a couple rounds, but eventually the ref is going to come and stop the fight. So I have doesn't go the distance in 4 different parlays. Closed Mousasi, that one's minus 111. One with Reyes, that's plus 102. One with Bader, that's next weekend at minus 111. And then I put it with a random ass tennis match that's already won at minus 120. I also put 2 units on a prop that Will Hill has. Sorry for you Americans, but we got to take advantage to what we got. They have a prop that Khabib wins, he gets the most takedowns and has the most significant strikes. That's plus 138. I hit that for 2.
Hold it.
All 3
Jay
of them?
has Will Hill. Jay, you have Will Hill now, don't you?
I haven't looked at it yet, though.
Will Hill.
I'll have to look into that.
So
I don't.
mobile
betting in New Jersey too, so you can do it on your phone through Will
so
Hill.
You
now.
might have a shot at that, Jay. You'll have to check that one out. And then I also hit Khabib Conor no glove touch at minus 200 for a unit, and I was able to get like 300 down on that. So I know there's some people on Twitter saying that you only can get $20 down on that, but I got 300 on it, so I'm happy with that. Yeah, that's Twitter for you. But it's going to be an awesome fight where we finally get to see what's going to happen here. Are the nut huggers going to be right? Is Khabib not going to be able to take that left?
I just do. What do they think though? Like literally, you were pretty much saying that he's either going to knock him out almost immediately, or he can stop that man's takedown for fucking 25 minutes, like straight up. That's it.
I don't even think they think that. Like I guess I don't know all of them, but I really truly believe if you think that Conor McGregor is going to win this fight, there's no way he can stop. He maybe stops one. I don't know.
A lot of people I see is like they think Conor's catching him.
They
think
or maybe
they
gives
think
him
it's
some elbows against the fence when he stuffs it a bit. Because
I keep hearing that.
Where's he ever shown that?
But I keep hearing his takedown sloppy. Like Khabib's, his entry's so sloppy that just sets up Conor's left. Like, dude, really? If y'all think that his entry on MJ is going to be his entry on fucking Conor, y'all are insane. You're fucking insane.
We're gonna see how crazy those people are, one way or another. So
they've been right more than me.
That's
all
fair.
I got was one right.
That's right. Jay, you may have the floor.
So, Conor McGregor's biggest strength, in my opinion, has been mental warfare.
Definitely against Alvarez.
A big part of it. It's been a big part.
His two biggest wins of his entire career, I would say, are Eddie Alvarez and Jose Aldo, and I would say he won those fights before those fights even began.
Definitely.
You can go back and watch the video, and you can see those two guys walking into the cage or standing there when buffers announcing their names, or touching gloves, or waiting for the opening bell to happen. Read their faces and tell me they're not defeated.
That's why Nate performed so well twice.
That's exactly why Nate. So Nate Diaz he was just oblivious to that. Maybe too dumb. Maybe just
better.
Hey, you don't say that. Jay.
Better. No, he was better at it. He was better at it than Conor.
He doesn't care.
Yeah,
he plays the game just as good. That first press conference they had inside the little cage, Nate fucking obliterated him. Like straight up obliterated Conor in that first fucking press conference. I knew right then and there. When Dave Scholler was there, Nate was fucking just crushing him, dude. They was both going back and forth, but Nate fucking straight up held his own. And I put money on Nate that day. He was fucking, 2-1 dog or something like that?
So
3-1.
Yeah,
4-1,
so
actually, I hit it plus 400.
The point is, Nate Diaz was never razzled by that. And from everything that I've seen, and I think 98% of people have seen, Khabib doesn't really seem to care either.
Absolutely not.
He just doesn't care. Like, he's like, yeah, you can go talk about alcohol, you can talk about my religion, you can make some stories about, being friends with the Chechen whatever leader. He's just like, whatever. One ear out the other. I'm looking forward to making my money, beating the shit out of you, and making a ton of money about it, and changing his life. He's like, and he's okay with that. I mean, the guy is 27-0 or 20 whatever it is 0. He's never lost a fight ever. He's never lost a round officially ever. He scores 5.4 takedowns per 15 minutes in the octagon, and he's been the most dominant offensive grappler. Or offensive wrestler, I should say. I shouldn't say grappler necessarily. Offensive wrestler in modern MMA. Right there with Ben Askren. I would say better than Ben Askren just because against level of competition and just
nastier on the mat. He's nastier.
Way better on the mat.
His ground and pound is way nastier than Askren's.
So take account that Conor hasn't gotten into Khabib's head in terms of mental warfare, so he's going to this with a clean mind. Now, take into account the actual fighting. One of Conor's strengths has been that he's left-handed, and it's been difficult for opponents to game plan for. A lot of guys don't have quality left-handed fighters to train against, have never fought against quality left-handed fighters. I think that plays a part. B-Birdie fought Michael Johnson and ran through him. Left-handed guy, stand-up striker, pretty high-level technical skill set, and he ran through that. And then take into account Conor's takedown defense. We saw how Conor fought against, Chad Mendes. He struggled to defend takedowns. The only reason Chad Mendes lost that fight is because he took that fight on short notice and gassed out badly.
Yep.
Badly. Now, that was also at 145, so I think Conor at 145 wasn't juiced up out of his mind and had more energy. I don't see that at this weight. I think he's also I still think he's beefy and bloated, even at 155, and I don't think he's got the endurance that he's going to be able to, like, in the late rounds, like, take advantage of a situation.
Yeah, the partying comes into effect eventually too when you get to 4th and 5th round against Khabib.
Or earlier against Khabib, because you have, like, nothing left because this guy's been on top of you for 4 minutes around and just punching you in the face or beating you up and just mauling you on the mat. It's brutal. I don't see Conor stuffing the takedowns. I really don't. Maybe he'll stuff one and maybe get a half chub or half excited about it. I don't know. But Khabib's been able to take down every single guy he's ever fought in the UFC, whether that's Ally Quinta, whether that's Michael Johnson, whether that's Edson Barbosa, whether that's Rafael Dos Anjos, whether that's anybody other than Gleison Tibau, who was super oversized and was a wrestling champion in his prior years for the UFC, and that was years ago for Khabib. Obviously, he's been training with the best guys at AKA, the best is the best camp currently in the sport, and he's improved over time. I don't see it. Khabib wins, continues the undefeated streak. The humbling will happen on Saturday. 1 week, or not even 1 week. We are days away now. Mm-hmm. The humbling of Conor McGregor. That's what this should be called from UFC 229. The humbling of Conor McGregor. It's coming. And this is this will close out our consensus bet we gave out last week. Mousasi, Conor McGregor, or rather Mousasi.
Once, twice. He jinxed both our bets.
Both of them.
Mousasi, moneyline parlay. Nushan, what's the payout?
Plus 123, I believe.
Plus 120. It's a plus money winner. The minus 5.5 is also an easy bet, in my opinion. Assuming Khabib wins, I mean, he's never lost a round. How is he not going to win a minus 5.5? Tell me. I mean, if he loses, he loses. I mean, why play the money? Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you're just doing, no need to juice it. You can also bet
if you're playing it straight, you might as well take those.
I mean, assuming Khabib wins, I mean, I don't really see a scenario where he doesn't win at least 4 rounds of this bout. I mean, he really should win all 5. I don't see it. If
Khabib wins, I think Sean's got all his money on the right spot. Because either which way, I don't think it goes 5. If Khabib wins, he's going to be mopping McGregor up on the mat for however long it takes. And I don't think it's going to be 25 minutes of him fucking mopping up McGregor before it's over.
He doesn't want to. He obviously wants to prove a point, too.
Yep. Yeah, like he did against a couple of guys that he's fought recently, and it's been ugly. I just can't see how. You really have to think that Conor's going to catch him with something coming in like very early. Yep. Because even 5 minutes, even 1 round, within that first round, Khabib will get him to the mat. And whether it be 30 seconds left on the clock or 2.5, he's going to take some serious damage in that time. So he better get him early. He better get him early. He better hurt Khabib with something.
Because he's going to be tired after that.
And like you said, there's the other things you talked about, like we've talked about before. Khabib's from like a different part of the world. None of this shit talk bothers them dudes whatsoever. Like you can't. They're from fucking war-torn countries and shit. Like they grew up with literally nothing. You can't shit talk and get in their heads. It doesn't work like that with those guys. And I mean, there's only like one John Jones. There's only one guy that can do coke benders and shit and stuff like that, and still like this shit's gonna catch up with McGregor eventually. Like he's literally he's been on a few year bender. Like if you don't think Conor's not on the coke and partying his ass, you're insane. Like that dude he's on one right now, man.
Or he's faking it better than I could ever imagine.
Nah. You don't look at that picture in that treehouse.
In that treehouse.
There is no goddamn
picture. What's the treehouse picture.
That dude was geeking out of his mind. I've seen that shit a few
What
times.
treehouse picture?
Fucking from a couple years ago.
There's a video, man. I'll send it to you, Jay.
Yeah,
What's
dude.
going?
Oh, what's that?
Like you like that whole bus incident. Like that was a bender. You don't think those dudes weren't fucking in NYC fucking getting fucked up?
You know he was supposed to. He was in Brooklyn because he was gonna fight RDA for the vacant welterweight fight.
You believe that?
That's what they're saying.
I think a little bit
did some.
I think a little was set up. I think it was a little bit of a setup, of course. Like, absolutely. But they were fucked up, dude. Like, straight up. That dude lost his mind, man. That shit wasn't a part of the setup. I don't think him throwing a fucking trash can through a window. That was fucking some dudes that were all in a hotel room getting hyped up, however the fuck. And when they got down there, they went fucking crazy, dude.
Yep.
There's too many signs of that I've seen. That dude's absolutely been on one for a couple of years now.
Yep. But he could still show up and throw that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I don't see it. I don't think anybody here sees it. Let's see him prove us wrong again. We've been wrong a couple times when it comes to him, but
no.
We're gonna have to see.
This is Nate part 1 to the 10th power. Straight up, dude. I think he's in trouble here, man.
Different beast.
Just a matchup.
Yeah, it's
like
a bad stylistic matchup.
MMA at this level, however you want to break it down, whoever you like and cheer for, whatever, it comes down to the matchup. And this is a horrible matchup for Conor. It's just bad.
Pretty much every matchup's horrible against Khabib. That's really what it comes down to.
Yep.
Who are we kidding?
Gonna be fun though.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a big deal.
Yeah. Absolutely. 3 million. 3 million though. I'll get a picture of Conor's tattooed on my fucking arm.
Oh
wow!
If it does over 3 million bucks.
Wow, this is
but
from Calcutta.
Here's the problem: they can report whatever the fuck they want.
Can't wait. We have a legitimate bet made on this. This is the best bet we've heard.
That is double the record. That's insane.
It's never happening. It's probably going to do. I would say it does 1.5 million or something like that. It's going to do some big numbers. There's no goddamn way it does 3 million. There's no fucking way. Boxing, there's big boxing matches that don't do fucking 3 million pay-per-view buys. There's no fucking way this does 3 million pay-per-view buys.
I guess we're gonna find out.
Can't wait. Biggest bet.
He said biggest bet. Oh, that shit ain't happening. Actually, I tell you the tattoo I get, that picture I got of the gorilla that's got the tattoo of Conor's tattoo with Conor's face on his chest.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's a hell of a pic, dude.
Inception. That's Conor McGregor tattoo Inception.
Speaking of, when the hell is Sean Carey going to eat that rat shit from Calcutta?
Not going to happen, man.
Is Sean alive? Did he survive the hurricane?
He jumps in every once in a while. Every 3 weeks, he'll throw a tweet out there, but I don't know.
He hasn't tweeted since September 17th. And then before that, it was August 29th.
Yeah, he's in and out. I think he's out the
must be
MMA game.
Lance saw that big. Yeah, he's jealous of those forearms, ain't he, Jay?
Oh, those Aspen Ladd arms? Oh,
yeah, those are fucking something else. I'm jealous of those motherfuckers.
What's going on? What has she done in the last 6 months? I want to know is she on DDP yoga too? Fuck that.
Shit. It's on them fucking Anderson dick pills or something.
Oh my god, what the hell? Like she tripled her arm size in 6 months. Damn, good for her.
Yeah, dude, it's just wild.
Tanya Effinger is gonna get she's not even gonna want to fight her. She's just gonna be aroused. I mean,
she gonna be calling for a fucking Cyborg rematch after she sees old girl at the weigh-in.
Yeah, really. Damn.
Fuck this.
Damn.
Whoa. That's wild shit. That's like a game changer. That's literally it's a fight breakdown changer.
That's like prime Godofredo Pepe arms.
Magma.
Man, those veins are bigger than, like Tiger Woods,
We're going to be off for a couple weeks after this. There's no fight card till October 27th.
Dude, Sean, you going to Moncton?
I am not going to Moncton. Fuck that. Especially in October.
Where the fuck is that?
That's way out east. Out east.
It's up like north of Maine.
Yeah.
Yeah, out there. I've been to Moncton once in my day.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it's okay. Whatever. Nothing much going on there.
No.
The Bay of Fun.
We got that Bellator on the 13th. They're doing that PFL on the next PFL on a Saturday after that.
I don't know anything about that.
They're having their tournament parts coming up, dude. That's going to be fun.
Yeah,
guys are fighting
same night fights.
Yeah, 2 times.
Oh, we're back to that.
Yeah, we're gonna see how that turns out.
That's going to be fun, dude. That's like some old school shit, man. That's going to be fun. Legit,
so the playoffs, you don't have the points don't matter in the playoffs. So win's a win, huh?
Yeah, you'll fight twice in one night, and then the championship fight would be.
Yeah, that's where the irony comes in. Like you could be the boringest fucking fighter in the world.
Yeah,
there's
some people that didn't make the playoffs though.
Well.
And then they're seeded against really good guys.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's
like
different.
A scenario where Khabib probably wouldn't be the number 1 seed in a tournament. He would obviously win.
Yeah, but that's PFL. They got to do something different. I'd rather that than just doing some bullshit.
Yeah, I think
boring regular ass fights.
These cards are going to be fun, man. These cards that got like literally the tournament, the 2 fights in one night cards are going to be really fucking fun, man. Hell, and then like the cards after that are going to be the prize money fights where dudes are literally fighting for $1 million fucking dollars. That's pretty high stakes.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yep.
PFL, we'll see what happens.
Jay's a pessimist.
It's been fun. I think it's been really fun.
Yeah,
they did a pretty good job.
As long as it's not on the zone, it's all good.
I think there's a lot of people out there that agree with you, Jay. They are not a fan.
Anyway, so big fight this weekend, big main event. You know who we'll be rooting for. You know where our money will be. Good luck.
3 million pay-per-view buys.
We know you want over 3 million pay-per-view buys because then we'll see what we think we're gonna see. I mean, unless he's gonna cut bait like.
Wes is gonna get that tattoo while we're down in Denver. All of us, me, Trish, and him, and Jerry. We'll film his beautiful tattoo that he gets when this sells 3.1.
I might have to pray for the first time in years.
Oh shit!
Oh shit! That's so good.
We'll be back in a few weeks. We'll obviously talk about this particular fight, the main event, and then I guess we'll be back for UFC Moncton where Anthony Smith is main eventing something. So, anyway, enjoy the footage and have a great October.